If everyone depends on you, that might be the problem. Most high performers are taught that indispensability is the goal. Be reliable. Be the one they can't do without. Early in your career, that works. It builds trust. But at senior levels, that signal starts reading differently. Not as strength, as risk. And this part catches most off guard. Because from the inside, being indispensable feels like leverage. From the outside, however, it looks like a single point of failure. I learned this the hard way. A leader I'd worked for before inherited a new portfolio. I knew the space well. I was a senior individual contributor. I had led a small team. From where I sat, it felt like a clear opportunity to step into more leadership. So I went to her directly and I asked for a bigger, more visible role, one that didn't even exist yet. She listened, and then she asked me a simple question. If we do this, who takes over what you're currently doing? And I wasn't ready for that. Not because there wasn't talent. There was. I actually had someone in mind. What I wasn't ready to say, however, was that the work will hold up without me. Which, for a senior individual contributor or manager, it is completely normal. We're trained to own things, not offload them. But at some point, ownership without leverage becomes a trap. In my head, I thought I was being responsible. What I didn't realize was that I had just framed myself as a dependency. And in that moment, my capability wasn't in question. What surfaced instead was risk. From my perspective, the conversation was about readiness and initiative. From hers, however, it was about stability. Not, can you do more? But, what breaks if you move? And looking back, it was the right question. I just wasn't answering it yet. This is where many senior people get stuck. At higher levels, leaders aren't just evaluating how well you execute. They're evaluating whether your value scales. If progress depends on you being there, holding things together, catching the details, saving the day, then promoting you doesn't solve a problem. It creates a problem. This isn't really about asking for a bigger role. It's about what happens when knowledge, decisions, and stability all flow through you. To you, indispensability feels like leverage. To the organization, it often reads as fragility. And it's not because you're weak, but because the system cannot move without you. That's the shift most people never see. Advancement isn't about being needed everywhere. It's about building something that works without you. Succession isn't an HR exercise. It is a signal. At senior levels, it can be as simple as this. Someone else runs your process for a week and nothing breaks. At every level, the people who move up are the ones who make it safe to move them up. If things feel less stable without you, the safest decision is to leave you exactly where you are. And that's how people get quietly stuck, praised, trusted, and never moved. Most careers don't stall because people aren't good enough. They stall because the signals quietly change and no one explains them. So if you've ever been told you're essential, critical, or too valuable where you are, that's not feedback about your performance. It's information about how authority and risks are being evaluated around you. And if you are a senior individual contributor, a manager, or a developing leader, your promotability isn't about doing more. It's about showing the system you're ready for work that scales.